Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my second segment of Bringing in the Light. Today, I want to talk to you about the four wisdom codes, which I found on this journey of educating myself, looking to like-minded people who are in search of the truth of what's happening around us in this world today, in this age of Aquarius. I found a gentleman by the name of Greg Brayton. So I also wanted to talk to you about the difference between love and obsession and possession. Now, before we dive into all of those things, I really wanted to take this moment for you guys to be able to get to know me a little better and how I started this journey and, what was my motivation and, how it went. I'm not going to take up much of your time with that because I really want to get you to this great information that Spirit has to share with you, but also just letting you know how I ended up on this journey and became a person who could interact, talk to, see, and communicate with Spirit, with God, with those who vibrate on a high vibration, that are of the light and are not scary as you would think that they are, as I thought when I first began. Because when this happened for me, I was 6 years old. And at 6 years old, you're not ready. My grandfather passed away when I was 6. He was like my best friend. He would come to town. He lived in Connecticut. We lived in Philadelphia. So outside of my father, he was one of the men in my life who just, was amazing. And so when he would come to town, he would make it his business to, really give me all of the attention because at the time I was his only grandchild. And so we had a very close bond. And when he died, my parents thought it was a great idea to take me to the funeral. No, zero fun. That was not the thing to do. But at the time, that's how I felt. But today, looking back, it was the beginning of this right here. It was such a devastating encounter, sitting at his funeral, open the casket, 6 years old, watching my best friend laying catatonic. If my eyes were playing tricks on me, it was as if I could see his chest moving up and down. Maybe I wanted it to be. I kept asking him the question, so you mean he's not going to wake up, he's not going to get up, he's never going to get up? So when they started talking about shutting the casket, I couldn't breathe. I became very anxious. It was almost suffocating. Okay, because now you're shutting this door and you're telling me you're never going to open it again. And the burial. And I don't know what's about to happen. I've never been to a funeral before. I'm a kid, and they start to put this thing in the ground, and somebody starts to throw dirt on it. Like, you're going to cover it up? You get ready to put it in the hole? Mind blown. I was devastated. I was a kid, okay? I didn't, I couldn't even fathom that this was a thing that happens to people, especially not my best friend. So we get home and they say, hey, it's time for bath. Time for who to take a bath? Was you coming? You coming? Are you coming? Because you need to be coming. From that moment that we stepped in the door, I felt it was this eerie feeling with me. I was just afraid. I was just suddenly on end. Everything was just heightened. It just felt like I was being watched. I couldn't put my finger on what it was, but I was creeped all the way out to the degree that I can still feel it as I speak about it now. That's how real that thing was. That's how deep it was for me. And so I think it forced some type of connection, some type of bond, because after my bath, which I can promise you was the fastest bath in the nation, I think I dipped myself in the water, declared myself clean, and got out of there as fast as I possibly could. I'm not even sure if I got in the water. I might have just sprinkled some on me to make my mother think I was wet. It wasn't going down. I couldn't even wrap my head around a bath. Are you kidding me? What? So now it's bedtime and everybody's downstairs, but it's bedtime for me and I'm the only one upstairs and you want me to turn off all the lights? But all I can see is him in this casket, like in this hole, the whole thing was playing over and over. So suddenly I got this hot breath on my neck. That never happened before. I'm like, whoa. So I run downstairs. I'm freaking out. Hey, somebody's breathing on me, but I can't see him. Can you come lay with me? Can I stay down here? Can I do anything? A crossword puzzle? Something, okay? Something's breathing on me. Like I can feel the hot breath on my neck. For a 6-year-old, this is a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I was not having, look, zero fun, sir. Zero fun. And when the people closest to you, your mother, your father, your sister, is telling you it's your imagination, there's no such thing as the boogeyman, you're making it up, or some nights I might get in the room and they might sleep with me and I wake up in the middle of the night and they're gone, or my dad would have carried me out of their room and back into mine because I'm in the way, I'm a kid, they want to be whatever they want to be, but they don't want me in the middle of it. And they thinking I'm losing my mind because nobody's experiencing it. At least they said they weren't, and maybe they just didn't want to discuss it. I don't know. So I started tucking myself in the blanket in this cocoon kind of a deal, okay? Because I want to protect my feet. I don't want to feel the breath on my neck. I don't want to see you. Please don't let me see you. Please, I'm praying. Don't let me see you. I don't want to do it. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to do it. I have no parts in this thing that I've been thrust into here. Especially when nobody's believing me. You understand? So if your child comes to you telling you that, grandma's visiting, she said she needs you to go in the cupboard and get the whatever it may be, understand and know that child is telling you the truth. They don't know how to process it. They are frightened to death. They need help in processing this whole situation. You have to be kind and caring and stop thinking with your own understanding because spirit is real. Same above is so below. It's very real. But anyway, through these little things as I grew up, something breathing on me, touching my feet, little things from the corner of my eyes, as I got older, the flowers that I described that are behind me were very transparent, but they would try to make themselves known. I'm blaming it on everything. I wanted to try the colored contact lenses, so in my mind I scratched my cornea because it was anything and everything but that, okay? Even being woken up out of my sleep, not being able to move, not being able to breathe, not being able to say a word, but know that something's pinning you, something's keeping you there. Something's keeping you there. Because it's trying to get your attention and it doesn't know how, and it's doing all that it can because you've got a calling or something's over your life that you need to see. In this little nuances that were happening, little serendipities and things as I grew up, there was this monk. A monk. Of all the things in the world in little West Philadelphia who would find me on 3 separate occasions in my life. I was 9 when we moved to West Philadelphia. And I'd say I had to be about maybe 11 or 12 when I first encountered this monk coming from a store on a very small block in West Philadelphia. What are the odds that a monk would come walking down the street, full regalia, the beads, the whole nine. Very kind face, smiling, happy to see me. Never spoke a word, and he looked, So I gave him the change that I had left from the store. It was all that I had. I got what I needed, so here you go. I wish I had more. And he gave it to me. It was a little shiny card thing, which I cannot find to this day, that particular one. On that occasion, I was a young kid, so I think I took the sticky off the back and stuck it on something, or a book, notebook or a book bag or something to that effect. So later, I'd say maybe 16, 17. My mother's sick. There's a lot going on. I'm in the lowest place that I could possibly be. Don't know how to express this. You know, I'm watching my mother waste away from cancer. It's eating her alive. She's smiling. She's not complaining. She's like the happiest, go luckiest person that I could see in her situation. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how I would have been, or if I could have stood in it the way that she did with such class, and in a peaceful way. But she knew the Lord too. Walking down the street again, same street, just years later, same monk. And I had a little bit more money, you know, because I was working, and, you know, I like to keep a little job, you know. I've been working for years, I guess, since I was about 13 or so, when summer jobs became the thing and we could get some money of our own. That was for me. So anyway, this monkey, I see him and I'm like, wow, cool, I got a little bit more money. I think I gave him $2 that day, and he gave me the cutest little beaded bracelet, which I cannot find again. You know, young, your mom, you don't know where you tossed it. Like I was sleepwalking then, trying to make it through and make sense of why this was even happening. And so, much later in life, the third experience, I'm like Brother Man from the 5th floor, the third experience, you have to forgive me, was when I was, I'd say about maybe 48 years old or so. I was living on a street that wasn't far from where I grew up after I moved back from New Jersey with my children. I'm coming from Cobbs Creek Parkway, taking my walk, my meditation, and things of that nature, because it has been a roller coaster of emotion, of realization. It's been a great adventure, and I'm happy to be here. So when I finally decided to turn around and take this thing head on and accept it. So when they wanted to really start letting me know that this was a thing where we were actually having a communication, a collaboration, was in the middle of the meditation, like I said. So, you know, the fractals begin. If you are a person who meditates, you know, you're seeing all kinds of beautiful lights, and it's just all, you know, mystifying, beautiful. Well, bam! Patrician. They spelled it out. It was like lightning. Like, did you ever see fire come across something and then it just starts spelling out a word? Well, that's how it went. Pow! Right in front of my eyes. Patrician. I jump up. I don't know which way to go because I'm in my bedroom. So it's either the window or the door. I take the door. I end up in the bathroom. I'm laughing and crying at the same time because stuff just got real, man. This is happening. This is happening. So now I'm almost in the fetal position in the bathroom, but I'm like, where do you hide? How do you hide? You see them, they're looking right at you. They're probably cracking up because you look ridiculous right now, trying to hide from somebody that you can't hide from. You said you wanted to do this, now do you or don't you? And this is what I want to say to these people out here who are doing these ghost huntings and things like that. Respect these spaces that you walk into. Respect these spaces and understand that these people once had lives, they once had families. Some of them are only just realizing that they're dead. Some of them can't even accept that they are. Some of them, like in life, you can lose your way. And we can gently guide each other together on this side and on that side, to the light, to what is true, to what is good. You know, a demon is not always a demon. Like, you know, the first thought for people when they see something supernatural happening, that it has to be of darkness, and it doesn't always have to. It might just be that brother that you said you missed. It might just be that mother that you're longing for. It might just be that cousin, that friend. You know, why does it have to be the devil? Because this is not happening the way that we thought it would, we can't wrap our heads around it. But God said and told us straight out that we would not know the way. And because we've chosen to keep ourselves tied to these ties that bond, and this is where we're going to the difference between love and obsession and possession. We find ourselves tied to binds that are already there, who have been made and handed to us, and we accept. I invite you to play a game with me, to open up your mind and let yourself go. Be very honest with yourself about the very true things about yourself that you may not want to see, because sometimes you might not like it. This wasn't all fun and games for me, because everybody has a past. But what we have to do is forgive ourselves, forgive the others, realize the part that we played, and decide not to play those parts anymore. Now, some people are not going to be happy that you've decided to stop being the doormat at their door, or in their house, or wherever they wipe their feet on you, or whether you were the ones wiping your feet on them. You have to decide to do better. The greatest saying I ever heard is that God is love. If God is love, think about the loves in your life and ask yourself, did you experience anything that you would think would be coming from a God? God didn't say we had to entertain or open ourselves up to toxicities with people just because they are close to us. Just because we were born into a family and they were there, you think you have to stay tied to that. You do not. God says that's not what he said. Because love is gentle, love is kind, love is caring, love is not judging, love is unconditional. Love changes, it transforms, it grows, it forgives, it changes, and it doesn't hold grudges. I pray every single day for people who I know absolutely love me, and those who think they do, who don't know how to show anything that could even resemble love. Because in taking this journey, I've learned to love myself, and I've learned to forgive the worst things that I know about myself, thus being able to do the same in others. Knowing that we're all fighting the same battle, and that if we came together in cooperation to help each other to do that, now that would really be love, because that's what love looks like. Love doesn't keep score. It doesn't make you feel bad. It doesn't guilt trip you into staying there. It doesn't do any of that. Love helps you grow. It nurtures you. It makes you feel good. It's something that's undeniable, because I thought I had to have a relationship, and I thought I needed to stay in family situations that were toxic, or stay around people who decided that they wanted to, assassinate my character. You think that they're your friends and they're not. You're dealing with people who think that you belong underfoot, or that they're better than you in some way, or you think you're better than someone else. God is going to wake you up, shake you up, and show you that that is not true. And I'm here to tell you right now that I have taken this journey and spent this hermit time alone in my little cocoon, and have arisen the butterfly who is now co-creating with God and spirits and people that I thought I would never ever see again. That's amazing for me. And so if I can open someone else up to these wonderful truths, I would like to do that. Okay? I want you to recognize that just because it's your son, daughter, mother, brother, cousin, whoever it is, that you feel the need to hold on to because of who you think they are, ask yourself, does it feel like love? Does it feel good? Is it healing? Is it nurturing? Is it wonderful? Or is it seething and holding and binding, and where you going and what you doing and who you with? And you can't go here and you can't go there, and we can't do this and we can't do that because so-and-so might think, or we can't get a divorce because such and such might think, or the church might think, because we're so high in the community and because we're looked at as a power couple, we have to act as if we still love each other, although you make me sick. What we forget is that the children are there watching you rip each other apart. And then by the time they get to be adults, they don't know how to have a real relationship, or they can only bring to the table what they emulated, because most people follow their parents' example. and sometimes not the best ones. You know? You find you have a lot to apologize for, and hopefully you do. You own up to the things that you've done. You forgive yourself. And you hope that those people forgive you too. And then you forgive those people. And you pray for them. And I'm talking about from your friends, family, enemies. And you probably have enemies that you didn't even know you had. The people who are standing right here next to you have been plotting your demise the whole time. And do not hear the story of Judas, it's true. And there's no need for me to stand here and say, oh, it was such and so, blah, blah, blah. No, because that's not my focus. My focus is, I hope they heal. I hope they stand up. I hope I was a blessing. I hope maybe me walking away will open up their minds, make them rise up and stand for themselves and receive the blessing. And understand that when unconditional love comes into your life, you grab that thing by the horns and you love it. You nurture it, you take care of it, and you change and transform and grow with that person. So with that being said, I want you to take a look this way. In the education of myself, like I told you, I came to find some wonderful people, and this is information shared with us through Greg Brayton and all of the wonderful work that he's doing. And I'm just happy to share it with you, just to tell you that it is just that simple. Now these things you can look up for yourself. I did my best effort to put them here on this board. As I go forward, of course, I'm going to do things a lot differently, but I'm still building from the ground up. A spirit is working with me to get these messages out to you because it's very important. Now what we have here are the 4 wisdom codes. The first wisdom code here is Psalms 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say it to the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In Him I will trust. This is the prayer that Moses said as he went up on Mount Sinai to meet with the Lord, conversate, co-create. But on his way up, he needed to have protection. And on his way up, that is the prayer, that is the mantra that he used to get him through all the lower vibrational entities that may have been waiting for him on the way up. The second is the Buddhist prayer of refuge in its entirety. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha, I take refuge until I achieve enlightenment. That is an amazing mantra. It's just simply saying that if you put one foot in front of the other every single day, the thing that you are seeking shall seek you, and right on that path. Do not try to avoid the things that are showing you signs in your life that you need to make a change, because on the path you take to avoid that thing is the place that you will meet it. So meet it head on. Stand in your power. Be firm, be strong, and do it without fear. And I can tell you, feel the fear and do it anyway, because that's what I had to do. I had to feel the fear and do it anyway. The third is the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so on earth. This is the original text. See, in our text we hear, on earth as it is in heaven. As in heaven, so on earth. Potato, potato, same thing basically, okay? Give us this day our daily bread, for our needs from day to day. And forgive us our offenses, or fences, which was the word that was used in the original text. Same thing. As we've forgiven our offenders in the original text, same thing. And do not let us enter into temptation, but deliver us from evil. It's just that simple. So here we are at wisdom code number 4, which is the Brahma, the manifestation of spiritual energy, destroyer of sufferings, embodiment of happiness, bright light sun. What could be better than the bright light sun? Have you ever been out on a sunshiny day, taking a sun bath, soaking up that vitamin D? Your body is loving it. It needs it. It's amazing. Okay. Destroyer of sin. It is the divine intellect who may inspire the Brahma. Now, as we move down, we're going to have some other mantras that have also been translated, and this is the Gaia Tree of Protection from every obstacle in our lives, translated from Vivekananda. It's a mantra, a great mantra, the mother of Veda, the original source, the red mantra, the most ancient with a long and complex past. It has 3,800 years, a year-old history, and multiple translations. This following translation, however, is from Swami Vivekananda, who lived from 1863 and died in 1902. And this is roughly translated, okay? And I'm happy to be here sharing it with you. So, back to this. We meditate on the glory of the beings who produce this universe, and may we enlighten our minds. So, here we go. Now, from Sri Gaya Mujans, this is his translation of it. So this is the second translation of this one here by Swami Vivekananda. And that is, O thou existence, absolute creator of the three dimensions, we contemplate upon thy divine light. May he stimulate our intellect and bestow upon us true knowledge. That is amazing. It's basically saying the same thing, but in a different way. You know, potato, potato. So it is used as the source of inner strength. It is the greatest power in existence. It is the truth. It is meant to endow us with great abilities and concentration, and so much more. Just in declaration begins with the word Om, God's ultimate name. Bora Bhuva Swaha, the inherent qualities that exist as God. Bhur is existence. Bhuva, God's consciousness, Svara, tells us God is inherent in all things. This is breaking down the words. Really, move in, take this information, and go do your own search. The first function statement, okay? The Gaia Tree, that the user is selflessly directing praise to God. The word Tat means that in the Gaia Tree, this indicates that praises are of all things, as well as God's blessings, humankind, Verinyam. Verinyam means who is eligible, who is worthy of receiving God's blessings. Function statement 2, Bargo. Bargo divisa demihai, dio yo na prakada. Let me tell you, I've been rumbling over these words, but this information is so important. So really zoom in, get the information just in case I am mispronouncing the words, and I know for certain that I am, okay? But this is so important, and I understand that delving in, you need to know this, okay? Bargo Devisa and Demahi, these three words describe the qualities of God from a functional derived from a Sanskrit word, dava, and illustrates the many facets of our focus upon God. The completion statement, dayo yona prakadeyat, and I think the T is silent, the dayo of our intellect. The dayo means of our intellect. The yo in this statement means who. It reminds us that our prayer is for God alone. Na means ours is, it signifies that our mantra is for all people in addition to ourselves, okay? Prakadaya completes the mantra and signifies that the entire mantra is a request to God as we seek safety and peace and happiness. The Gayatri Mantra crosses the traditional boundaries of religion and spirituality, and it remains one of the most popular mantras that exists today and is used continuously. Among the reasons of its popularity are the many and varied applications that lends itself to the mantra. These include the protection that results from clearing those physical and emotional obstacles that may appear along our path as we seek deeper wisdom of our own spiritual growth. Now, please go back, look at it, check the words, because I know my pronunciation was off. The one thing that I want you guys to know is that this has been a crazy journey. And no, it has not been easy. You see me taking the pictures and I look up and, my face is distorted in some way. That has been happening to me throughout the years also. My youngest sister is always the one who can capture it, like she's a seer. So she can always capture it and always has. And I erase those pictures because, like I told you before, when we don't understand something, our first reaction is fear. And I'm glad that it happened to me. I'm glad that it's happening now. I'm glad that it's orchestrated through spirit. This is their way of creatively expressing themselves. This gives them the opportunity to show up in a way that they see fit. I don't never know what's going to be on my face, or if it's going to be on my shoulder, or if it's going to be, where it's going to be or what's going to happen. But I do know that we have come to an agreement that this is how they're going to show everyone in the world that I have not lost my mind, and no, my cheese has not slid off my cracker, and I'm not technologically savvy enough to edit the pictures or make them anything. I have them here on my phone, the ones that I'm taking now. The Christmas picture was taken by my youngest sister, which really, if you know my father, anyone out there, you can take a look at that picture and clearly see that that is his face over mine. And that his hand was opening the package with me almost like he was celebrating too, and it's okay. So I just want to say to you guys, thank you for being here through all of my hiccups and blunders. I'm doing what God told me to do, so you're going to watch my hiccups, you're going to see my mistakes, and you're going to see my transparency. And now that I chose to show up and be the best me that I can be, I ask you to come grow with me. I ask you to find yourself, heal yourself from any ailment ever. Whoever it is that you believe in, I know that somewhere in that religious text that you're reading, it says that we have the capability of healing ourselves from any ailment, that you can stand up and walk, that you can open your eyes and see, that you can heal from the palsy, or whatever the case may be, whatever it is. You can rise above it, guys. Thank you for being here, bringing in the light. On next week's episode, I'm going to share with you some of the wonderful ways that you can bring your body into coherence immediately. It's going to teach you how to change your paradigm, your way of thinking, and your way of being. So I've taken up enough time in your day. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you realize that really you can do this too. And yeah, it's going to be jarring sometimes, the things that you see, but understand this, that once you see it, you can't unsee it. There's no going back. You see that scene in The Matrix when the guy's like, I want to go back. I don't want to remember anything. Yep, well, buddy, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So make sure that you know what you're asking for. Because you just might get it. So you better be ready. I love you all so much. I have no judgment. I am very discreet. I do not share people's information with others. The only thing I want to do is help someone. So if you genuinely find yourself in a place where you need that help, reach out. This is Patricia Scott. You can find my number on my Facebook page as well as in Instagram. You can find different ways to reach out to me. My email address is bringinginthe light001@gmail.com. I look forward to helping you. I look forward to hearing from you, and maybe we can grow together. And maybe we can help someone who's living in a house where they don't understand the spirits that are there, uh, and they think that it's demons and devils, and maybe we can help those people reach the light, and the ones who are still living in this dimension find some peace. So, with that being said, have a wonderful life, a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.